I wanted to come on here and basically do a follow-up video to the commentary that I did earlier about Billy D. Williams. Now, if you follow me on Twitter, I said I was going to upload the commentary tomorrow, but I said I don't want to let that drag out any longer. And it probably would have went up a lot sooner if I didn't, if I wasn't preoccupied this evening. But you're getting the video now. Now, I had did a video a couple days ago that I uploaded today basically saying how it was kind of odd to me that Billy D. Williams at the age of 82 announced to the world that he was gender fluid. Like, it went so far as to trend #1 globally on Twitter. It was that serious. It caught a lot of people off guard, especially since Billy D. Williams was seen as this huge sex symbol to a lot of women, especially black women, back in the 70s. So it kind of threw a lot of people off. Let's put it this way. Billy D. Williams was like the Denzel Washington of the 70s and 80s. And when people heard that, it was like, huh? Where's that coming from? Like, what's going on here? It caught me off guard, too. But then an article was posted today, which was ironically the same day that I uploaded this video, where he had to come out and say that he didn't understand what the person who was interviewing him meant by gender fluid. He thought it meant something completely different than what it was. Had to step away right quick. But as I was saying, I just something about what he was saying just didn't sound right. But he had to come back out and say that he didn't know what the person who was interviewing him meant when they said gender fluid. He thought it meant something completely different. And in typical lamestream media fashion, they didn't even try to correct this man. Mind you, he is 82 years old. He's not 28. If he was to reverse the numbers, he's not 28. He's 82. So he is of another generation where he thought he was talking about something completely different, and they were not on the person that was interviewing him or whoever he was interviewed by was on a different wavelength. They were on a very, I guess you could say, millennial, Gen Z type of thinking, not the generation he's from, which I guess you can say is like the greatest generation, because I think he was born before the baby boomer generation. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and read this article, and we're going to clear all of this up. It says, Billy D. Williams is clarifying his comments on gender. The Star Wars actor received widespread praise last week after making comments which led many to believe he identifies as gender fluid. And listen to that right there. Received widespread praise last week because people believe that he was gender fluid. I keep telling y'all about that daggone agenda. They love to praise abnormalcy. I don't know if that's a word or not, but I'm making it one if it isn't already. They love to praise stuff that is abnormal. To me, it is not normal when you try to completely recategorize what gender is. That's just me. But I have a feeling it's not just me, it's many others as well. He said, I never tried to be anything except myself, he shared in an interview with Esquire. I think of myself as a relatively colorful character who doesn't take himself or herself too seriously. You see, I say himself and herself because I also see myself as feminine as well as masculine. He kind of lost me with that one. It says, I'm a very soft person. I'm not afraid to show that side of myself. However, the actor clarified his comments in an interview with The Undefeated this week. Well, first of all, I asked last night, I said, what the hell is gender fluid? That's a whole new term, when Williams admitted, saying his quotes were misunderstood. What I was talking about was about men getting in touch with their softer side of themselves. There's a phrase that was coined by Carl G. Jung, who was a psychiatrist who was a contemporary of Sigmund Freud, and they had a splitting of the ways because they had different ideas about the, what do you call it? Consciousness. Unconscious. It's collective unconsciousness. But he coined a phrase that's anima animus, and anima means that it's the female counterpart of the male self, and the animus is the male counterpart of the female. So that's what I was referring to. I was talking about men getting in touch with the female side of themselves. I wasn't talking about sex. I wasn't talking about being gay or straight. People should read Jung. I mean, it would be an interesting education for a lot of people. He added, making the common mistake of conflating or confusing gender identity with sexual orientation. He says, I'm not gay by any stretch of the imagination. Not that I have anything against gay people, but personally, I am not. And then it goes into the part where he's reprising his role of being Lando Calrissian in the next Star Wars film, or as I call it, the dumpster fire. And then he just basically said that is a bittersweet ending to the Star Wars franchise, and as well as his character. So that's pretty much what he was hinting at right there, because he didn't know what gender fluid was, but like the person interviewing him or whoever he was interviewed by over at Esquire, they didn't correct him or try to explain to him what gender fluid was. They should have said, do you know what gender fluid is? And which he would have said, no, can you explain it to me? And then they would have said that, and then they could have squared that away right then and there. Or it sounds to me like they didn't give or go all the way in, or they left parts of it out, leading us to believe that he said that he was gender fluid. But that's lamestream media for you. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments, and I'll talk to you in the next one.